this phase in their life and why they're sitting up here as practitioners of the century-old art that our exhibition highlights in Samoa, but in Hawaii we know this also to be very much part of our culture and our history. So the panel tonight is really to talk about those differences and maybe similarities between Samoan tattooing traditions and Hawaiian tattooing traditions, and maybe the resurgence of this cultural practice after so many years. So maybe I'll start over here with Aku and give you the mic. Just introduce yourself and share your brief story about how you came to this place in your life about tattooing.
Thank you, Brendan. I'm going to give an honor to start from this side.
Aloha. So my name is Vaughn Victor. I come from Manakuri. I've been a student of Genealogy for a long time, 20 plus years. And I would like to thank him, thank Mahalo for sharing that knowledge with him, and for Keone for sharing that knowledge with us, so we can continue and perpetuate. Thank you, Steve, for inviting us to be here and be a part of this. So I got it started. It wasn't there's nothing glamorous about it. Keone needed a stretcher. Then I volunteered, and I just continued to stretch. And then it was through that time of continually being there, making time, and asking questions. And then I evolved, I guess, from a stretcher to an apprentice. And then being there all of those years and seeing everybody and the transition that we went through from with machine tattoos and going into the Mori and being there with Mahalo when we started coming to Hawaii and spending time with him. And then being where we are and growing and being apart from my guru, because he also told us that we needed to be apart from him. But that individual growth that we got from that and persevering to hold our culture, I guess. And I'm here because Steve invited me here.
Aloha mai kākou. I am Kiki Makua. We're from Hawaii Island. My journey started 1990-ish. I was tasked from my family to find a teacher, and in that process, there's a way to ask to be a student, and I looked at the teachers, and I went that route of Keone, and it was through the idea of being a student of Hula. And in his study when he was younger, he had learned many things about our traditions of tattooing, just nobody was doing that. So little by little, he started doing machine work, and after Hula, I would go with him and start stretching off and on whenever he needed. And as time got by, he got busier, of course. And then definitely times when I couldn't be there, Vaughn couldn't be there, back and forth, we would jump, at different times. He met Pau. Pau took me in as a student, and that became that process and the story of learning. Fast forward to today, it's been many years, and I, along with Vaughn and a handful of other folks, have studied, I would say, relentlessly with our teacher, Keone, and I am here because Vaughn asked me, because Steve asked me.
Hello, my name is Aisea, Suluʻape Aisea, I'm also known as a Tonga. And I've been part of the family clan for some years. And we're quite great to be here with all the families and all the top practitioners here. So we have more in the future. Just holding the sacred art and practicing with great people and continue inspiring the knowledge of our craft. And so much not so pressurizing to actually respect and keep the powers in the woman's hands, which is the respect the world and craft. Not lost out there, social media. Any questions from the families that people ask?
Aloha, my name is Suluʻape Steve Looney. I'm a student of Suʻa Suluʻape Aisea in Samoa. I'm a resident here in the shop here as well. How I got involved in Tattoo was really, I first heard of my mentor when I was in high school. And my art teacher in high school in Samoa, he gave me a book, which I got to read up on. So when I eventually moved to Hawaii and I met Suʻa Aisea, I found out that he was already stretching with them. It was a big deal for me to meet him because I was already tattooed, but I was only doing machine work and doing Western style tattoo. Tattoo what I saw. So my goal was to meet him and hopefully gain some knowledge. But within that time, he had asked himself, he said as well, to while we were stretching out. Even today, I still consider myself a student. When he blessed me with the title, that was really an eye-opener for me to go on this journey and his purpose in life to want to share and perpetuate this cultural practice that we have. It's been continuous, but it's been a long journey. I'm just grateful to be here with this group right here. I'm very grateful to have the honor
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Mahalo, and I make costumes for these guys. And I'm very happy to make it up here. Anyways, I'm from Samoa, American Samoa, and my brother Steve, friend of the Suluʻape family. And I can speak fluently in the evolution of memes and culture, how the Samoan Tattoo came around. So I'm kind of here for that. I will be more than happy to answer any questions if you want to know why this thing called Tattoo came to light in Samoa. So thank you for coming tonight. Brendan?
Thank you. And I know maybe it's a Connie thing, but we don't like to speak into mic, so when I hand the mic back to folks, you speak into the mic a little bit so that our audience can hear. Well, maybe let's start with maybe a simple question is, talk us through the process of, well, maybe first question is, what would you consider a traditional tattoo? And whether it be for Hawaii or Samoa, like a traditional tattoo? Like, how would you address that question? And if you know, as much as you're willing to share or can share, what is that process with the person, whether it be Kami or Wahine, male or female? You know, once we sort of get past what is traditional, what is that process through which, as a practitioner, you take this person who wants to, maybe it's more, maybe it's genealogy, maybe it's a life event, but what is that process through which you work with an individual before they take on the couleur of wearing your artwork, but also their maybe more level? I'll pass it to anybody wants to go first.
Thanks for the question. And it's good you asked that because I own a tattoo studio in Steve, and And we have this a lot of questions with contemporary and coming tourists and asking what's tradition and what's traditional tradition. And the thing is that it's the approach and the rituals and traditions and protocols that makes tattoo different from rituals contemporary. We find tattooing is a place of communication. People like to wear part of our art, or when we can't give the traditional ones, we give something that can, I would say, connect with them, sharing arts. At the same time, we don't give certain designs and patterns, we keep them safe. We don't want them to keep them with the people. What we say also more tradition, the process is different. Certain protocols, things that tie to our cultural values, principles. Those are things that are very important. I don't think that we want us to wear it. It's just that it's up to us as performers what we want to do, how we do it. Doing the way we set up, doing the approach of the patterns and designs, the individual. That's where it starts. Contemporary tattooing has been going on for a long time, since the 90s, 80s, and 70s. We're training art many years from sailors to, it's been part of the military, it's been part of the European sailors coming and going. Now that we're in the modern world, we have seen many great artists innovate with certain designs and patterns and creating some amazing work. We're mixing Asian with Polynesian, we're mixing fusions and lines. That's fine. That's why we start creating motifs or graphic designs together. It's outside of fun. But also there's carnivability that we start doing certain patterns and designs as part of our culture that people are certain clans that we will keep that safe. We still see the rituals. But at the same time, we will keep communication with other races. Because, when you think of tattoo, it's not only just Polynesia and Pacific, it's also the world tattoo. Just to be honest, the whole world. From Egypt, European countries, Indonesia, China, the marking the skin has gone for centuries. Why did it mark it? We don't know. There's still history of it. But in the Pacific, we still keep it as our culture. It's just the morals and the values and the principles. We have that, I think that time is special because we mark the skins to kind of guide the people to the past and forward. Give guidance. I think that's where I see how the town is going to. And it's elaborate more than just one. But I hope that's clear.
So, for Hawaii, there's like 4 of us. Ken makes 5. He's in Thailand. So, I think all 4 of us does it a little bit differently. But for me as an individual, the process is longer. There is ritual, there's pule, there's intent, there's meaning. I put you through a process. I'm not on social media. I only came on last month. 10 years, you gotta come look for me. That's how Keone was 15, 20 years ago. You gotta look for him. And when you find him, you're gonna get tattooed for a year and a half later. That was all part of the journey. And that's what I do. You gotta find me first. That's if you want me. And then I'm going to ask you questions. Why? What is that thing? Why are you here? And then I give you homework on top of that. I ask for 10 to 12 generations. And I'm going to stick to that. I have told people that I didn't agree. You're not going to get tattooed by me. Get you other people down the road. And I leave Franklin Highway and get Keone, Kalehua, and get him. Because that's what my guru told people when I was training under him. I'm not going to tattoo you. So I adhere to that. And because of that, the process is more stringent. Because in the process, we will look at kupuna and we will look at celebrities. That's what I use, celebrities. It is through this process that these design elements is what I will choose to put on you if you fit it. Now I have a choice. I can water down the design to fit you now if you like it tattooed next week. Or I can bring you to where you need to be to what you should well. Now what you think I'm going to do to you? A disservice? I'm not going to do that. You need to do your homework. It is these kupuna that make you who you are today. And it's these kupuna that you're going to wear on your body. You need to know who they are and what makes you who you are. You need to have confidence that comes from the inside, not ho'okano, confidence. When you wear these designs, chin up, eyes up. Never drop your eyes. Never. No matter where you are. Because I live in Waianae, I go Costco. There's these new people that move in every month. They're not used to seeing me walk through Costco. They inadvertently just watch. Because I'm with my family and my children. I see them, but I don't see them. But I make sure that they're not uncomfortable. And when I get tired of them, I do this. I mean, you stop. You should never be in Paris. So this is how I prepare you to wear our designs. I only do traditional designs. I only do traditional pieces for female and males. So the process for me is more stringent. And I do this because that's how I was taught. And I adhere to that. Yes, there is ritual, there is pule, there is homework for you to prepare. There's a diet that you must go through. There's a healing process afterwards. There's a whole thing. It is different. That's how I do it. The three other guys, they do it similar too. There's slight changes, but yeah, that's a good question, Kenny.
Yeah, there's absolutely similarities in the things that we do when we do them. We have an opening, we have the actual work, we have a closing, there's preparation beforehand. If somebody has hihia in their daily life, they have to resolve that before they can come and lay down on the morning. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Oftentimes, people will reach out, and because I have been on social media for quite a long time, people will reach out, and if they're traveling, and you folks might see this as well, they'll just say, I'm in for three more days. Can I get something? They won't get something from what? What is something? Because I have something very specific. So if they cannot even articulate what they're looking for, I absolutely cannot help them. And if they come to me and say, oh, I want tribal, I'm sorry, I don't do tribal. I don't do tribal. And our friend that created that, Leo Zulueta, is no longer an item. He's like in Minnesota or something like that. So, and he created tribal a long time ago. You can get flash at all shops. They get all kinds of things. So absolutely, genealogy is everything. And we're taught that foundation is what belongs first. Because if you get something, I've had guys that want their face done and I laugh. I look at their body, I look at their leg, and you don't have foundation. Or you can build a building from the top down. It doesn't work. It's always foundation. And if they don't have foundation, then they cannot. If they cannot come with information of their foundation, they cannot. Sometimes we give them little places to look here, look there. Or, you know what, I know your family. Do you know your family? This is the person. Contact them and maybe they can help you in your search. oftentimes we've given folks, little guidance where to look and whatnot. But it's definitely different. It's definitely different. It's not something that you're gonna catch on the drop of a hat. I love the whole diet thing. They trip out when you tell them the diet. What you have to do and how you do that, and how many days you have to clean your body. They're like, it's like, oh, you don't even know about good health. So why are you gonna come and hold on to yourself with something that speaks of something of Akua, of your Ohana, where they're from, the lands they were from, the work that they were tied to? If you can't even Mahalo, you won't keep them. Like, so yeah, there's a lot of things that we do, and a lot of conversation. Sometimes people will want to just jump on a phone call or come meet you. And I gave up on all of that already. I said, bro, we're going to do the email thing. And my email thing is often on the data text, because I can go back and read your words and sometimes give them back to them when they come and talk to me. Because maybe they come when you finally see them, the words that they wrote and their actions don't align. And that's when you open them. Absolutely. That's when you tell me, you're not ready. You have work to be done. So yeah, there's a lot of things, honestly. And we might all do a little bit different between us students of Keone, but they're overlapping in many ways. And sometimes it's just small intricacies. But it's the idea. We're trying to move forward and trying to do it in appropriate mannerism as a collective to build what we have lost for Hawaii, for Hawaii's people. When we do get people coming, I've seen our teacher would alter a pattern because it wasn't, the pattern was tied to our people. But if the person wasn't of our people, but the pattern fit what the life was about, he would alter it and make it north so that it can kind of be contemporary-ish. And I've seen them do that off and on at different times, and I've done that as well. The bottom line, I come to realize not everything is for everybody, and what we do is absolutely not for everybody. And I've turned a lot of people away, and I think I made a little bit of enemies now and then because I have, and I can give people's, I don't know, they call this guy, he can help you, but yeah, definitely. So I'll pass these backwards to my next.
What you said earlier about functional design, that's what I was talking earlier about protecting. That way, that person fits that one. But the ability to understand the pattern to really do that. So,
it's a language.
It's a language.
You have to understand the language before you can.
And by saying that, it's kind of cool because I had this one talk with somebody about drawing the fish. You know how to do that. Every kind of pencil will draw a fish, right? And we spell the word F-I-S-H. No one understands that word. It's just a word that was taught to us. But if I show you the design of the fish, the whole world understands that. How was that savage? That was brilliant. If I draw a mamu, the bird, the whole road, across from China to Africa, the bird. So we start going back to symbols. And this is something where I think we are starting to recognize patterns and symbols. And I had this main talk in my shop where look at your phones, your icon. We're doing emojis now. We reprogram our mind to different symbols of today. There's what we call the symbols we're carrying. But these are the texts that we carry in our own language. You can read about the culture, but instead of reading their patterns, you learn their philosophy. You learn their patterns. You know where they come from. And navigation, even as far as they chose, you can actually pick up that. I think when they took the arts away, there's a lot of school, but we kind of read their patterns and told the story. It's very important. And diet, this process is very important. As a body going to out of transformation, the inner kind of transformation. If you come from the gut, your brain, you're clean. You're going to take on this new image of this people. Carry yourself high. Stand 100. It's true. It's very nice.
Yeah, like my brother said over here, South One, traditional tattoo for Samoa is just the tatau and the mahalo, which is the female tattoo. For us, it's, your journey into getting a tatau or a mahalo all comes from your family first. It all comes from your family. New understanding about your culture, your language, how you carry yourself as a Samoan, everywhere you go in the world, in the modern world as well. All of that stuff is supposed to be taught. When a person seeks out to get, out, usually in the old days, they were chosen by their family because of their character, how responsible they were as their parents' child, and learning all the duties and responsibilities as a young man, providing and supporting the family. And those are all the things that you're supposed to be taught. It's the older days. Nowadays, it's a bit different, of course, because we live in modern times. You still should get the permission from your family before you decide to. And most times, it's already talked about within the family before a person comes up to you. And then the tufunga is seeked out by the family and gives a hearing and discussion itself and when and where this is going to take place. As for the females, it's the same process. The family comes and seeks out permission, and they seek permission from the family, and then they seek out the tufunga, and it goes from there. So how you carry yourself after you get your tattoo, like I mentioned, really how you carry yourself before you move out. And in our culture, or in Samoa, you have a drop of Samoan blood, you have the right to do it. The intricacies about Samoan tattooing, it's all tied into the culture as well. It comes from the culture. It's so much more to talk about it. This would take up all night if I was trying to explain it. But basically, that's the short. As far as like contemporary tattoos, what we see elsewhere on the body, outside of from the men's tattoo from the knees up to the ribs, or from the women's eye on the thighs just below the knees, is considered contemporary for us. It doesn't involve all of the rituals and bringing the whole family involved in this whole process. Just using the same design, but telling the story contemporary to modern times. So that's the difference in my case, as I'm explaining this tattoos. I'll pass the mic on to Afu to explain
Thank you, Suluʻape, everyone. So tatau, in the Samoan, speaking from the Samoan platform, there's one for a man and one for a woman. The one for a man called tatau. And tatau, there's two words there. Ta, it means strike, or it means attack. That's why you can see those actions that these experts here are doing attack. And tau, it means connect, or that's when we bring who we are as Samoans, our responsibility. But everything there is all about service and your duties, just like what Suluʻape explained. So every time a man is having a tatau, it's like you are handpicked. You are handpicked. There is a story in Samoa, there's a proverb called it means it's like a pigeon that was selected from the bunch. And this is when they pull you out from that child or your usual self, and they will put these rings on you at the town. And that means you have a service and duty to the family. Because growing up in the culture, as you know, it's completely different than who we are nowadays. Everything is related to the environment. All we see as Samoan in the village, we live in a village. We see the top of the mountain called Tosidi, and we see the ocean in front of us. We plant the land and we fish the ocean. and we enjoy the stars and the moon. And that's where all the ideas that these artists are, putting together, and they put on the body and represent who we are as people, and that's who we are. We don't know any other word beside what we see, what we sound, what we do. So the tattoo is so significant and unique and critical to the Samoan people because it's a sign that you are handpicked to serve your family. And any person in Samoa, you have four link to your ancestors. Like you have a father, your father has a mother and a father. Then that's your four link, and same thing with your mother. So all of us, if we have to trace back, we all come from some sort of line of chief, and the chiefly system in Samoa is so important. So we all comes from some sort of chief. We cannot say I'm a chief and he's not a chief, because we all come from one place. And this is what we keep on carrying right now is the tattoo, and that's why thanks that we still have the artists that do this for us. For the women's, we have something called the Mahalo. This is so significant because our women's, we treat them like in a very unique way. It's like the people of the eye. And Mahalo, it's like someone that we protected. We protected, and that's what the word Mahalo means. It's like the umbrella to cover yourself from the rain. Just an example. So Mahalo is someone that we protected. Our family protected. Our women's, our ladies. And when you have that on, you became someone that when you see the upper ceremony, you cannot just see anyone who come and do that. You should be someone with a print. Because that means you are handpicked. You are handpicked or selected to start serving and do duties and responsibility to your family. So that is the only thing that I want to share with you. Thank you.
Awesome, amazing stories, amazing monologue you guys are sharing. And maybe I'll ask one more question and pass the mic around again before I open up for our audience to just ask some questions. What are your hopes for your practice, your cultural practice moving forward? What's in it for the next generation? What do you expect? Your KP, your Puna, your great grandchildren. What do you expect of them as a practitioner? Whether it be to pick it up and continue what you do, whether it be to whatever it be. What are your expectations moving forward? When we look at our history and our past, at some point in time, these practices were forced underground, were forced to be put away. I think we're at a very different point in our history, but I think it's up to us to sort of direct the next couple of generations after us. And as practitioners, as masters, I believe the Samoan title is Tufunga, as Tufunga. What are your expectations for the future generations?
Well, myself personally, my children, they're not going to try my life. I never did try to force them. This is a journey I decided to take on my own, and it was something that I'm blessed with to be a part of the Suluʻape family. And the reason why we were titled was simply was to keep these traditions alive, carry on with it, continue to share with other people and those who are interested. As far as keeping the traditions alive, of course. As long as our, for Samoans, as long as our culture is alive, our tattoo. I really hope that in the future we will still continue to teach young people and that they continue to carry on these traditions. It's been around forever, and we're still able to share this.
Thanks for the question. I think for me, I would have to educate myself because the way the children are, generation is very different. I have this thing where it takes 9 months for you to grow a taro, a plantation. get it right, the best of it. This case wants it instant. How we work with that? Don't know. Still trying to figure it out. I had many students come through and they just got to the wax on part. They didn't get to the on off. They walk out, and it's, I don't have much children, I don't know generation, but we do hopefully that the one person sees our dedication, sees what's all about, and comes to the child in and we just want to make sure it goes into the right hands with the new modern tool system. Guide them to the right, there's good, medium, bad here. How is growing at the same time, keep interest in it at the same time, for this kids and this new generation coming up. That's something I've educated myself, it's time to be learning. Just make sure it gets there right. It will eventually change, we don't say the same. But we can try our best to keep it cultivating, keep it in this right place. That's the question, because it is scary to look down that path. Work hard to bring and keep it outside and keep this going away. But maybe we all work together for how we can do a system, keep that process like we talked before, and just keep culture, process, values, morals, principles, keep the education, keep the path, keep the hula, the school boy. So learn from the home, learn from here, then we can pass the tools, pass the ads, pass the application. We didn't learn the root form.
How can I see it to continue? That's difficult. I have many dollars. And they, for the most part, have all jumped in and stretched and assisted or nurtured the individual getting work. It's not it's not a work that women are highly involved in, other than in assistance from overtime. So it's going to be difficult for them. I have many students that are cousins. I try to one of the ideas for me was to keep it within the family. The interesting thing, like you said before about families come and go. I know you had some of your cousins who would see TV in the past, and I scratch my head sometimes. But it's an idea that it's not for everybody, and it's a discipline to learn something and to keep it alive, and try and hope that everybody is going to keep it with the integrity that it was taught to you. But you cannot force other people to recognize things in the way that you recognized it, or your crew had recognized it and shared it. So with that being said, that's a good one. And finding the right individual, like I said, I've had many students, and some are actually teachers and whatnot. Daily life gets in the way, like holy cow, folks. Daily life gets in the way. And to say that we keep our bodies clean, free of drugs or chemicals for the purpose of working on our tools, for the purpose of working with our tools. That's a respect. So we look at our tools as being godly, so we have to treat them in a godly fashion. So our life has become maybe boring in that sense, because hey, we go to your house, we go barbecue, we go pop some beers. Sorry guys, I cannot. I come to your house, I'll pull eye with you, yeah? We go share a meal, you can have the beers. I drink water, I drink iced tea, whatever. Because I know in a day or 2 days, maybe I have work, so I cannot. So that's always a thing that we always take into consideration. But the younger generation, was like, enjoy, like automatic. Stop social media. And my daughter get the tick, and then the TikTok. Stuff. They send me things on my text message, and I don't know how to open it. I push the thing, and it says I'm gonna sign up. I cannot receive it. And so it's a different life that we live in. And I'm in my 50s, guys. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to teach my grandchildren. I might be on the side to watch them. My grandchildren are young still. My oldest grandchild is a girl and she's 6. And I have 2 brand new grandsons. One's 8 months, the other one came out in February, the middle of February. So the idea is, by the time they get around 10 years old, I'm slowly starting to pull back already from those 10 more years, 15 more years, I don't know where I'll be. And who knows, I got cheaters. And I'm probably getting a line inside, right? So it's just that idea. And I know we have high hope for some of the folks that does sit with us. But sometimes they get a wild hair and maybe, hey, Wahine go by, I'm going that way. Oh no, Wahine don't like him sit with us. She like free time. Go hiking this weekend. We go camping this weekend. It's like, oh bro, this weekend we get hana, we get burned. We have kulana. And if you're gonna sit at that pie, there's kulana and this pie and the things that comes with that, it's kulana. And your life is not your life. And I can blab for hours, but I'm sorry.
For me, the future and where I want to see this thing to go, sometimes going forward is going backwards. If what I say is abrasive, because it's different from a perspective that I look at. But no, so when I say that, I mean that we would look to our kupuna and we would follow what they did. So sometimes going backwards is going forward. So I'm going come to the museum and I'm going to look at the Moli, and I'm going to look at what they need, try to figure out how they need it, and then I'm going to make that. And in doing so, in that Hanaka Ike, I realized that the material that they use was superior to the one that we was using like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, right? And now I'm currently trying to figure out how did they make the handle for fit that. So what I use now is like 1/3 draft of what I saw here. So looking to where I want this future to go is to reach back into that, look into the pule, look into the mo'olelo, find that and bring that out. And follow that and persevere with that. That's where I see that we will take this. So going backwards is forward. Akua gave me one good okua. I was his uncle before I was his school. I would test him many times. For me, because we have plenty of people that like sit with us and learn, and then they like take stuff and go run away, and then make themselves a new superstar, and then start tattooing wild. Because I see that in the world, for 10 years I wasn't part of that. Yeah, I was outside. And so I saw that going on. I was very stringent on who I let come sit with me. So I was very lucky that Akua would put this, he was 10th grade when he came. So then from there, he understands what his kuleana is. So when we schedule work, he's there. His wahine, no more problems. She understands what he's there for and what the intent is and what we do. Because it's not about me, it's not about him. It's about the person that we will hold on there in that space and time. We will create one couple time now in this mahi, in this area, and we will instill mana into somebody. it's like time stops for the 8 hours around us. And this is what we're doing. Because through this pulling, all of this kupuna that they will do homework for, that's what I'm putting in. All of that, yeah. So for me, I have a son, and that's my greatest obstacle. He doesn't have a choice. Okay? I don't care what none of you say. He does not have a choice. This kuleana is the deepest sense of that word as an inherited responsibility. It's not the responsibility of, oh, I gotta take out the trash every Sunday night. No, this is an inherited responsibility. This is going to transfer from father to son, and so forth and so forth. So he has to learn this. Just like other things that was taught to me by my uncles, he has to learn this. There is no choice. So I have to figure out how to make him want to do this. How to make him sit here with us. Yes, with all the distractions in this world and life, I gotta figure out how to catch his attention and come here and sit down. And then I gotta figure out curriculum now. How do I teach somebody to draw a straight line? How to draw a horizontal line? How to draw parallels? How to see parallels? When you tattoo, that's what you do. I use 2 hands for a tattoo, left and right. They both work in unison together. He has to be able to pull lines side by side on that. There is no choice. Now, if the world gets chaotic, we went back and we will take this underground again if we have to. And we will come back up 50 years, 60 years down the road again. But it's just to keep the sacredness there. That's all. But I have no choice. That's how I see it. And that's how I perceive the future, is having to, how do I portray this? So what was taught to me, the good and the bad, and figure out, develop a better way in a curriculum to teach it, and how to get them to catch on to go. Right? We work with bone, we work with wood, we work with stone. We have to learn all of these things. So, yeah, there's a lot that we have to sit and learn. But to make the time for us to sit together and do the work, yeah, that's just what it is. And the person that comes to learn has to understand that that's what it entails. But we as individuals gotta choose the right guy and make sure that they will sit there. So they need to be tested to make sure that they just not going to sit here for like 1-2 years, take what they like and run. Because we get enough of that out there. So I'm going to protect that. So I'm going to make stringent. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so just as other indigenous or native tattoos, the Samoan traditional tattoo for men and traditional mahalo for women is not just something that we have to, to put on. It's our identity, it's our culture, it's our people, it's our story, it's our life. Our ancestors who had it before us, it's just like you're no longer here, but he's still here. It's just like they taking their footsteps. They're gone physically, but they leave that brings for us. And that is what we have. So this is our life, and we want to endure. We want our children, we want to do the same thing, that's it. Because no matter where we go as Samoans, this is who we are. We're the only one with this mark. You don't find this mark in any other native, individual, or you can only find to us. And this is what represents us. We always have a saying like, you can take a man away from a country, you cannot leave the country. The idea, but you cannot take the island away from them. It's kind of equivalent to the tattoo and the Mahalo. So it's part of us. It's our life, and it's really, it will never go away, no matter how people try. And thank you, because we still have artists that are working hard to make sure we preserve, we promote, and we teach, and we mentor our children and the future generation, so we can still, live life in our tattoo all the time. Thank you.
Mahalo again for sharing, folks. Mahalo.